A chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
I cannot think of a more disastrous policy decision than cutting off or taxing Alberta's oil to the United States. Doing so would absolutely devastate the Canadian economy. It would not only extinguish the livelihoods of hundreds of thousands of Albertans, it would economically hobble our friends and neighbors in other provinces to the east.
It would be disastrous. It would devastate us. Yes, Danielle, that would be the entire point. Welcome to an economic siege. Right, that is the literal dictionary definition of a trade war. When a foreign power puts a financial gun to your head, you don't pull down your pants, hand them the ammunition, and start listing all the internal organs that they're about to destroy. You don't survive an economic conflict by holding a nationally televised press conference to explain to the aggressor exactly which pressure points are going to make you vomit blood. Everyone with two brain cells to rub together understands how leverage works. If you don't have the stomach to inflict reciprocal economic pain, you don't have a seat at the table, right? You are on the menu. Every single province gets it. The entire population of Canada understands that the only language spoken in Washington right now is raw, unadulterated leverage. But Danielle Smith walks up to the podium like she's pitching a timeshare in Scottsdale, right? Signaling to the entire planet that the foundation of Team Canada is made of wet cardboard.
Time is our friend. We must give our people and our businesses the resources they need to survive, and give the American people and their leaders the time they need to reverse these terrible policies after the November midterms.
Dude, time is our friend. In the midterms, really, what planet are we living on? What reality is this woman currently occupying? Because she's acting like this is a 9th grade model UN conference where everyone's going to get a participation ribbon and an orange slice after the debate. Right, let me explain to you exactly what's happening in the real world. You're not dealing with polite civic discourse. You're dealing with Donald J. Trump and Howard Lutnick. Howard Lutnick doesn't view Canada as a sovereign neighbor with shared values and a rich history. Right? He's a ruthless, predatory Wall Street debt liquidator who views an entire sovereign economy the exact same way a private equity raider views a bankrupt regional hospital chain. Right? He wants to strip the copper out of the walls of your economy. He wants to fire off all the nurses. He wants to auction off the parking lot and leave you holding the pension deficit. Trump and Lutnick are executing a textbook corporate raid on an entire nation, Canada. Right? The objective isn't to find a mutually beneficial framework. The objective is to apply maximum structural torque to the Canadian economy until the borders effectively dissolve into a subordinate economic protectorate. A vassal state that exists purely to supply raw resources, cheap energy, and total regulatory obedience to Washington, D.C. And what is Danielle Smith's mastered strategy against this predatory takeover? Right, let's wait for the American midterm. She genuinely believes that the suburban population in Pennsylvania and Ohio are going to walk into the voting booth, look at the ballot and say, you know what really keeps me up at night? Right, the export margin on Alberta heavy crude. Right, let me vote against my own administration's protectionist agenda to save Danielle Smith's quarterly balance sheet. And that is exactly why we know that this is pure political theater for people whose brains have been completely turned to mush by cable news talking points. Because she's an American politician. The way she moves, the way she speaks.
This means de-escalating and doubling down on diplomacy with members of the United States Congress and with governors in both parties to ensure that they understand how destructive these tariffs are for the American people and how we will be there to help as soon as the tariffs are reversed.
Doubling down on diplomacy. Right? You're watching the absolute death of political posturing in real time. Let's address the elephant in the room, the Alberta Separatist movement. For years, these people have been puffing out their chest at backyard barbecues, telling anyone who's going to listen that they're ready to break away from the Confederation, build an independent frontier utopia, and dictate terms to the rest of the continent. Right? They played the tough guy routine for a decade. The very first time an actual geopolitical heavy hitter steps into the ring and taps on the glass, what happens? They fold like a lawn chair instantly. The entire separatist fantasy evaporates into thin air. It turns out that the grand plan for independence was just an eager audition to become an unincorporated U.S. territory with zero voting rights and a direct pipeline to Houston. You want to talk about sovereignty, right? You don't get to claim you're an independent petrostate while your entire defensive playbook is begging a foreign Congress to be gentle while they empty your pockets. Here's the reality that nobody actually wants to admit on either side of the border right now. Domestic politics is a luxury for times of peace. When global order is stable, when trade routes are open, when everyone's getting fat off of cheap credit and you can indulge in whatever boutique political neuroses you want, right? You can argue about political jurisdiction. You can hold referendums on grievances that happened in 1982. You can throw tantrums about federal overreach, and you can play to the absolute lowest common denominator of your donor base. It's fine. It's a hobby. It keeps the talk radio host employed. But when an economic war starts, the luxury vacation is over. When an empire decides to put its boot on your neck, right, to test your structural integrity, you don't get to run a separate rogue foreign policy out of a strip mall in Edmonton. You don't get to undermine the national negotiating front because you think you can cut a backroom side deal with a New York billionaire who wouldn't even cross the street to spit on you if you were on fire. There are moments where you have to understand the assignment, right? When the house is being boarded up for a hurricane, you don't start arguing over which bedroom is going to get the best afternoon sun. You either get in line, lock shields, and present an unbreakable national wall of counter pressure, or you resign your post. You buy a membership to a country club and you go play tennis, or you fly down to South Dakota and shoot rescue dogs and yell at brown people with Kristi Noem, right? But you got to pick a lane. Either you're defending the sovereignty of the nation that you're actually supposed to govern, or you're an unpaid PR intern for the people who are trying to buy your country for 50 cents on the dollar.
Do I care about how the Quebecois speak? I mean, what could matter less to America? We don't care. So the fact is, we never brought those words up. This is manufactured, and that's why the president put out a truth saying it was a complete lie, right? It was manufactured. So there's the Sovereignty Party trying to run, and they're in the lead in Quebec. And so this was Mark Carney manufacturing something that would try to keep them from winning. And then you have Alberta has an independence resolution. These are elections in October. So he's making this a political thing for Canada. And my guess will be, as soon as his elections are over, you're going to see a plane full of Canadian negotiators flying down and go, come on, we'll give it to you before your election. We're just being used by them, right? That's what happened. That's why it ended. It didn't happen for math. The math was sensational. It was a great deal that we shook hands on.
We all knew that the first break in Team Canada was going to come from Alberta, right? Just looking at everything that's been playing out over the past year that I've been covering this, I'm telling you that it's been pretty obvious. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Food for thought as always.